Hi family and friends. Welcome to Glow's Kindred Kitchen, and I'm Glow. Well, today I wanted to share a recipe with you that I ran across not too long ago actually from a community cookbook, and it's from Maggie Valley, North Carolina, which is in western North Carolina. This particular little cookbook was dedicated to the lady who wrote this recipe, and her name is Jolie McAfee. And I gotta tell you, this is delicious. She called it lazy fruit pie, but yes, it is kind of lazy, but it's super easy and super delicious. So I'm calling it easy fruit pie, but it is so good. So in this recipe, it calls for cooked fruit. First time I made it, I had some fresh pears on hand that I wanted to use. And so I cooked those on the stove and used those. And I gotta tell you, that recipe was absolutely delicious. One of the best pear pies I've ever had.
It was good, Miss Glow.
Thank you. And so today I decided I had some canned pineapple on hand. Chunked pineapple. So I'm gonna use that instead. You can put any kind of spice you want in with it, and it just goes together super easy. But the first thing we need to do, and I went ahead and I did it, I cut a stick of butter in half. So it's just calling for 1/4 cup of butter. You preheat your oven to 350 degrees for this recipe. But while it's preheating, I'm going to put this in the oven. And what we want to do is have this butter melt. So I'll be right back after I put it in the oven and we'll continue on. Well, our butter's in the oven on our pie plate and it's melting. So now what this recipe calls for is 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. I went ahead and measured it out. I'm putting it in my sifter. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, which I measured out, and that's going in my sifter. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to just put that right in there too. And it just called for salt. So I just kind of eyeball it. I would say probably between 1/4 and 1/2 teaspoon is plenty. All you do is you sip this. Yep, and that's all we have to do for that part. Then it calls for 1/2 cup of whole milk. So I have that here, and oh, here's my spoon. So I'm just going to stir that in. What this is going to do, it's going to make a very thin batter that we're going to pour over that butter that's melting in the pie plate. And the pineapple, I went ahead and drained that in a little colander type thing I have. It's a wire one. And I reserved the juice, and I'm going to use that juice for something else. See how thin that is?
That's pretty thin, Miss Glow.
Yeah. So let me check that butter, and we'll see how that's coming along. So the butter's not quite ready yet. So we're going to go ahead and continue. It says that you can add a little bit of sugar to the pineapple. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have some brown sugar here that is actually a little hard. The last bag I bought had a tiny hole in it, and that's all it takes. And you're going to end up with some hard brown sugar. So in fact, I'm going to do a video after this where you add a marshmallow to it. And it just makes it really soft. So anyway, I have about 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar here. I'm just going to put that in here. And I'm going to stir that in with it. And I decided, the nice thing too about cooking, you can put whatever kind of spice you want in something like this, and I decided to add cardamom to this. Allspice would be very good in this as well, or nutmeg. Those all pair really well with pineapple. So I'm going to just do a few shakes of this. And that's what this is, cardamom. And the Scandinavians use this a lot in their cooking, and it's just delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and just stir this up. Oh, it smells so good. You can smell that cardamom. And cardamom has like a citrusy type flavor to it as well, which is going to go really well with this pineapple. Oh, superb. So let me check the pie plate again for the butter. I'm sure it's just about done. And I'll be right back, and we're just going to put this together. Well, I just took this pie plate out of the oven. This is about a 9-inch pie plate. I am using a stone pie plate for this. It's actually my favorite pie plate. But anyway, you can tell it's all melted, and I gotta tell you, it smells really good. I love the smell of butter.
Me too.
And we're just gonna go ahead and pour this right in. I'm gonna turn the bowl around to get the last little tidbit out of here.
No problemo.
This batter is really yummy, so you don't want to waste it.
I'll lick the bowl later.
And if you notice, there's no egg in this. Super easy.
I'll still lick the bowl.
Recipe.
Looks good.
So then the next thing we're going to do is just take this pineapple and just put that in. This kind of reminds me of like a popover type pie, you know, where the crust goes around it. Just go ahead and put the rest in here. There we go. Just gonna spread it out. And this is gonna bake for about a half an hour. And what's gonna happen is this crust is going to go up over it, and it's going to be, you're going to cook it till it gets like a nice golden brown, and it is so yummy. I can't wait to try this. But anyway, I'll be back, and this takes about a half an hour, so we'll be back in about 30 minutes. We'll see what it looks like. Well, I just took this out of the oven, and I gotta tell you, it smells delicious. Look at that, you guys.
It does. It is smelling real good.
It did take 35 minutes, and I think the reason why is when I did it with the pears were warm when I put them in the batter. This time, it was just room temperature. So that's the only thing I can think of that took longer. But anyway, we need to let this cool so we can sample it. But we'll be back probably in about a half hour or so. In the meantime, I'm going to be making a chicken pot pie. We'll talk to you later. Well, look at this pie. Doesn't that look delicious? It smells so good. I was going to show you, too, how this cut out of here so nicely. Look at that. First piece. And so often, that's not easy to do with a pie.
No, it's not. So
I'm going to go ahead and taste this now. You can smell the pineapple and the cardamom in it. I bet it's going to be delicious.
Well, the pear pie was real good. This smells even better.
Oh, you guys. That crust is kind of almost like a cobbler, but not quite. And then the pineapple with that cardamom. Oh my gosh. It is delicious. If you guys were here, I would have to make several of these pies for everybody. Oh, the sugar amount is perfect for it too. Delicious. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this and you've seen how easy this is to do. Please let me know if you've tried it and how you liked it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do and give me a like. And thank you again for watching. We really appreciate it. Talk to you later. Bye.